Well. Looks like we're at the point where we're hearing wedding bell marches, body possessions, and hopefully in about 12 episodes, karmic justice will occur.
It's one of those things, definitely. You are right, though. We are hearing bells.
Yeah. And I'll say this I think it's appropriate that we're doing this cluster of episodes on Easter because Otoya has risen. May he be praised.
Let me praise. Especially, how many times? How many times has this actor fallen and risen, fallen and risen? Like he's seriously supernatural. I say.
Yeah.
How many times has he fallen and risen for multiple women, but risen up again, only to obsess over one?
Yeah. Praise the Holy Trinity, the Otoya, the Wataru, and the Kiva.
Definitely. Definitely. But welcome everyone to the podcast.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yes, we are discussing episodes 17 through 20 of Kamen Rider Kiva. And boy, two really interesting things happen. Well, two very interesting things happen in these four episodes. And
Mhm.
yeah, well, technically two and a half, if we're going to be real honest about it. But I'm surprised it didn't take the angle of How I Met Your Mother.
It kind of did feel that way, like in the second half, especially like, wait, what's going on? What's happening? And again, these are another set of two-part stories that are set. Totally different, but only connecting with Wataru. One is touching and heartfelt. We see a side of Otoya that we're like, wait, what? Especially his like long lasting reaction with people that are not of demon races or trying to eat people. How
Yeah.
he is towards actual real people, and then there's the other side.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
So
we also have a special guest in the second set of episodes, a very famous voice actor in Japan. But we'll
yeah.
get to that when we get to that.
All right. All right. So we're gonna try to keep the summary aspect as obscenely brief as possible.
Mm,
And so for the first two episodes, we're gonna like focus entirely on 86, then 08, and then we're gonna flip that going with the following two episodes. We'll do 08 and then 86 because I think like we're gonna do it like from least to most important.
mm,
And I noticed that flip flop pattern in the last couple of sets of four episodes where there's more focus on the 86 side, and then in the following two episodes, there's more focus on the 08 side. So
that is definitely something that's been happening more often with these episodes.
yeah,
Is that obviously I know a lot of people have said we're not focusing on Wataru, we're focusing on Otoya, and I'm like, yeah, but that's the setup.
yeah,
Technically, Wataru's story does not start until like I want to say we're close around the 20s. That's when we start focusing on Wataru because the whole story with Toya is going to start wrapping up about what happened, how his conception came forth, and now
mhm.
keep going on to that.
You know what I would find really interesting if someone tried to do a similar thing with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, where like they try to watch part three and part six concurrently. So it's like, oh, the main character is Jolie, and she's sent to prison, and something involving her dad. What could possibly could that be? And then you cut back to 1987, and it's like, oh, this delinquent is globetrotting to fight some vampire dude. I wonder how these two stories connect to each other. And then finally, when we get like towards the end, it's like, oh, so Jotaro defeated Dio. Now one of his disciples wants to bring Dio back to life, more or less.
Mm-hmm. And
and
now it's up to his daughter
yeah,
to finish off what her dad started.
yeah. And I am and thinking about it right now at this very moment, it just occurred to me how accurate the plot of Kiva is to that premise. down, down to the evil priest part.
I mean, they could have done it. They could have done it with JoJo. It would have made more sense, especially like well, we have to split. You know, no, we could have gotten hints, but I mean, again, the writer is not foreshadowing a lot with this.
Yeah.
Like, were we aware that we were going to get a female person? I'm like, no, I think he did it just because. Like, let's change it up. It's kind of like if Kamen Rider were to focus on a female as the main protagonist, not a secondary. Not which would we all be against that having a female led red show? I mean, some of the females have been written more better than the males, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I will say lately in Super Sentai, the female Rangers are the more catchy for me. Like even like Ryu Soldier, like I was more invested in Asuna than Kota or whatever the Red Ranger's name was. I forgot it already.
Yeah. Those bangs, I swear.
Yeah, but more importantly, it's like, hey, you got this happy-go-lucky cutesy girl who eats a lot of meat, as opposed to this happy-go-lucky guy who wants to live up to his Porgus the Ace archetype, who turns out to be like the guy they've been fighting this whole time.
Yeah.
But yeah. Starting the story in 86, it's actually pretty straightforward. Otoya is basically pressed to tutor this little girl to study violin, and of course he was offered to go on a date if she passes an audition. And instead of tutoring her, and by the way, she's a total brat at first, and I have a lot of respect for that. And there's even some back and forth with Jiro, which is actually really funny, like both in the cafe and at the pool.
Yeah. It's just like
he breaks his cue and then like it accidentally ends up.
It reminds me of like, you know, like when a child or someone stares at a dog, you know. It's that level of like how she looks at him. Mm-hmm. It's like it's kind of like what they say. It's like if you have a domesticated dog or any dog, if you stare at them, there's two things that could happen. One, they'll take it as a challenge, or two, they kind of just back down knowing that you're the superior, the higher being, you know, kind of a pack mentality. And Jiro, shockingly, submitted. Which I'm like this bratty girl who we first meet, you know, we meet, like, we don't see her. We don't physically see her yet. We just get a close-up of her feet for some reason. And she's just sitting there, like, watching TV, eating snacks, just kind of like whatever. And I'm like, oh, okay. Snotty little brat. Okay, I get it. But then we go to 08. Which
to completely wrap up the 86 side, not to break you off, is basically turns out all this goofing off he's been doing with this little girl turned out to be exactly what she needed. And once we do see the audition, and honestly, I really love watching the audition scene, because like it's like you might not notice it right away, but like watching it for a second or third time, you might actually like catch on to it. It's like, yes, she performs brilliantly. Even like Yuri's like, oh my god, she's playing so amazing. And like she breaks one of her strings and she manages to improvise and keep killing it.
She's a prodigy, technically.
Yeah. But Otoya is like sleeping through the whole thing. And it actually makes sense why he's sleeping through the whole thing. And you find out at the end of the 86 plot of the entire 2-part episode. While she is fantastic at playing violin, she's just not passionate about it. And Otoya
both her parents, she kind of said, are accomplished violinists, and while she respects and loves them, she doesn't really see herself as that. And she
Yeah.
kind of feels like the reason why she has to play violin is because they're violinists and she doesn't want to. As to the point that Otoya kind of gives the big life lesson to everyone. It's like, do what you want to do, but if you're gonna do it, put your heart into it.
Yeah.
Because
Listen to yeah.
there's no point in pursuing something that
It-
you have no spirit, no soul, no heart in putting
Mhm.
into it, because you will know someone who plays the violin will play the violin and you're like, oh, it's so beautiful. But again, Toya was falling asleep because it was like, no, you guys hear the music, you feel, but I feel her music. It's not
Yeah.
wow. It's not
Yeah.
my wow.
Yeah,
That's
it doesn't harmonize with her feelings, and
mhm.
sometimes if you're really sensitive to like how a person plays, it's like you can tell whether or not there's passion in there, and that can make like you could even have like a banger of a song, but like if you're not playing it passionately, you can tell no matter how into it you are. And you know, you and I, like, we have experience going to a lot of rock shows, and we've seen a lot of different bands perform, and like we
Oh,
could
yeah.
tell it's like who's doing this as a career, who's doing this as a hobby, who enjoys doing it, and who's doing it just to get a quick paycheck. You know, like we've we've noticed that.
Well, you can totally tell, and it's true with anything that someone does. I mean,
Mhm.
I know people who are great at welding, who are great mechanics,
Yeah,
and that to for me, I'm like, well, that looks like work, or that's how people would normally say it. But to this person, it's like a day can go by. It's like they say, if you love what you do, you'll
Mhm.
never work a day in your life.
Right.
Obviously, you'll have those moments that, oh, I don't want to do it today. I don't want to, and we all
Mhm.
have them. We all have them. It's fine. But it's one thing that it's like I could not see my life
Mhm.
without doing this. And that's what Toya was telling this little girl. And that she, sticks with it all the way
Mhm.
to her life, because
Yeah,
now
because
we
yeah, like I've been told like, oh, you'd make a great lawyer, but I'm like, but I don't have any passion in studying law. It's like can I like do paralegal stuff? Sure. Can I make
mhm,
reasonable arguments in front of a judge and defend my or not necessarily defend, but like support my client, whether they're the plaintiff or the defendant? Oh, absolutely. Like I could go like full Keanu Reeves from Devil's Advocate, but am I passionate about this? No.
the pat now.
You know, I care more about listening to music, playing video games, talking about guys in not spandex costumes.
Well, yeah, that's even the thing. It's like, oh, such a waste of talent. And I'm like, is it a waste of talent, or is it a waste of a life that you pursued something that
Yeah.
you had no interest in, but everyone said you have to, you should, because it's like it's your gift. But it's like, bro, I can cook you up a meal from anything, and you would tell me, oh, you'd be one of the greatest chefs. Or I could do I can craft something, make something, and it looks so professional, so good. Like, oh, you should be, but there's no passion there. I mean, there's
Right.
passion when I do it. It's like what with Wataru,
Yeah.
with his past, like about the violins, is that could he make a career out of it? Could he? I'm like, I guess you could,
But
but his career or his passion is for him only, not for the world.
yeah.
So it's like he does have passion. Everyone should, but if it doesn't make you happy, if you're just churning them out like nonstop,
Yeah.
there's
Yeah,
no point.
it's like the previous episodes with Kango. It's like can Wataru do play a really good bass? Yes, he can.
Yes, you
Can
can.
Wataru do really good lead vocals?
Yes,
Absolutely.
you can.
But is that something that he wants to do? No, he's
No.
just doing it to help his best friend.
Yeah. And again, that's kind of the thing that, now that again with what we said wraps up like the 80s, but and then we go to into now. Wataru has been having kind of a, because of the
Trauma.
past, yeah, trauma because of the past. It's like, I lost a friend because of BS. Now I lost a friend because he's a psychopath.
Yeah, it's like I lost a mentor because he turned out to be a fangire. I lost 3 friends because one of them turned out to be a fangire.
And I mean, I guess you could probably say I lost another mentor, which was Nago.
Yeah,
But it's even in these episodes, I'm like, Nago, what are you doing?
he's
Yeah. He lost it. He lost, especially like, yeah. So I mean, this is what I said about Nago is that he's so black and white that he's gonna crack. And I totally forgot how quick he did that in this show. It's like, wow. Like, yeah, you're right. You're totally right. Itza is amazing, but compared to Kiva, it's really nothing because every time you've pulled it out or you fought against Kiva, Itza has done nothing other than like steal the Garu saber, and instead of like piercing Kiva, you kind of just beat him like
bashing him with it.
Yeah, I was like, you do know that's a knife, right? It's not a stick.
Yeah, and it's a curved.
It's a curved, but yeah, it's a curved blade. You don't do that. That's meant for slicing, for cutting, for like the whole.
It's
long,
made
not the,
it's made for hacking. It's the kind of blade where it causes more damage when you pull it out of your opponent than when put it in.
Yeah. It's like once it's in, it's like, bro, it's coming out, but it's making an even bigger hole coming out. So yeah, and he goes crazy over that, but then Wataru's kind of like, I don't want to fight anymore. I don't want to do anything. I'm just, play me Simon and Garfunkel, or play me the
Hello,
song.
Darkness, my old friend.
Yeah. Or play me the theme to the Incredible Hulk because I'm going on a journey.
or the theme song to set it off. Day after day, seems like I push against the clouds.
Yeah.
And we are met with an archer who seems to know just the way to help our little friend.
But I kind of like Wataru. No offense, but how far did you walk? Because I know you guys are in the metro, but you kind of did the whole stereotypical thing of like, I'm walking and I'm up a mountain somewhere, because it is a very beautiful setting where they're at. It's like, wait, you were in the metro of Tokyo. Where the hell did you walk to that you're now up in the mountain areas?
It's like watching Naked Gun all over again.
and you look amazing. You don't look like you've even walked a mile. I'm like, isn't Japan wonderful? They just
No, see, like, this is the thing I've been saying about, like, the one thing that Overdrive did better than Bokenger, and that's coming from someone who thinks Bokenger's the best season of all of Super Sentai. It's like, yes, they're adventure themed, but here's the thing, though. In Bokenger, like, when they are on a mountain, it's noticeably a Japanese mountain. When they're in a quarry, it's noticeably a Japanese quarry. When they're in the beach, it's noticeably a Japanese beach. But at least Overdrive, when they say they're in St. Lucia, it looks like they're in St. Lucia. If they go to Cairo, it looks like Cairo.
Yeah, this one, I mean, I don't recall any like major lake scenes in past Rider series like this. So to me, this was a whole new area. I'm like, oh, okay, so we're not in the same old areas that we've been a million times.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, that's Tokyo Dome City. That's downtown Shibuya. That's by Ikebukuro. This is, or that's the tunnel of the JR line. I'm like, yeah, no, we're good. We're good. It's nice to be out there. And yeah, I don't get how Wataru just is journeying with nothing. He's like aimlessly wandering, and then just happens to get the attention of this very beautiful silver. Well, I guess silver hair just too much, but more like a very seasoned woman who is an amazing archer, who we find out actually is quite the skilled archer.
Yeah, she was an Olympic archer.
Yeah, she represented Japan, and it's just like, oh, okay. But we have a little banter between her and Megumi,
Who's
because
noticeably jealous.
I don't get why Megumi is jealous. I mean, that's the thing. I love her, love Megumi, and I love Shizuka. But it's like Shizuka is protecting Wataru
Yeah,
as we
she's
all
his
know.
mommy.
She's the mom, and then Megumi is like, again, it's like the playful older sister, because it's like you're not in love with Wataru. We know about that. This is the reverse, where his dad was obsessive over your mom. Now you're obsessive over Wataru, but we don't get the feeling that you want to get with Wataru.
Right? Yeah, yeah. It's and you know, it's like the way things are being hinted. I'm glad that things did not go in a certain direction, because last thing I want is like a Luke and Leia type of situation.
Oh yeah. No, I was just like, my first watch years ago, I was like, oh, please don't tell me we're getting that nonsense. And it's like, no, we're fine. But yeah, apparently Megumi is like, just like, hey, Shizuka's been looking for you. Like, well, just happened to go to this certain gym. I'm like, Japan might be an island, people, but I don't think it's that small.
Yeah.
But it's like they're pulling them back and forth. And again, Megumi acting like the older sister, just keeps calling this lady old lady, Oba-chan, which is like pretty much old. Yeah, just saying that she's
like
old. And I'm like,
it's like after 22 years, like you'd think she'd be like in her mid-30s, the latest.
Well, yeah, them doing the math. If we saw her as a kid at like, what was it, like 8, 9?
Like even if we assume she was like 13 at the time, which I know she's much younger than that, she would still clock in at 35, which actually isn't very old. I mean, maybe Japan's a different culture than America, where like to us, like 40 is the new 30, but like while to them it's like 30 is the new 50, but
it's really one of those things that I'm just like, even I, when I go to events or whatever, some people call me old, and I'm like, I don't fear being called old or whatever. I've learned, and I have now understood, where going to conventions or whatever I do, I accept it. I'm here, I'm enjoying it, and I'm having fun. You guys are trying to like make a scene or trying to make like something happen. But that's the thing with Megumi, is that she's trying to like to get Wataru back by any means and making a spectacle of it, where this woman is just trying to teach him to like, be yourself and do your thing, just like,
don't let don't conform to other people's expectations.
Yeah,
that is something a very special person taught me. Of course, I'll never say the name of that person for reasons of convenience, but it's kind of interesting, because like it really seems like, well, we know that he never finds out that who her mentor was,
which is kind of like, but again, this is one of those special moments, like I said, that he touched a human heart, not like a Fangire or some something like that. It's like, this was a little girl that was bratty and not, and I was just like, even watching the episode, it's like, okay, but I was kind of confused. I was like, wait a minute. So an archer, but then we're focusing on violin. Where the heck does the archery come from?
Well, they both use a bow.
Yeah. But it was at the time that it's like, oh yeah, because of what he did, because that's why she picked it up. And
it's like that. These two episodes really know how to pull on my strings. Naito.
Yeah. This one really, which we saw a side of Toya that was like not really shown a lot. There was a lot of comedy with the little girl and a very
like with the plunger.
So okay, let me ask this question, and I think I might have missed that. So we have this Fangire that is in the episode. It's a starfish Fangire.
Yep, an asteroida Fangire who has ostrich heads on its arms.
I actually did look into it. I was like, wait, so where? I thought it was a pattern, but it's actually on his hands and arms.
Yeah. It's a nice change from shoulders or head or chest.
Well, I mean, when we get into the other Fangires that are not like animal or like the pawns or anything like that, it's like, wait, how do we? Where's the bird in this thing? Like, what's going on, because obviously we got to follow the theme here. But
Yeah, the aquatic ones are kind of harder to pick up
yeah,
on.
yeah. But so Nago is chasing after this one, but we never really see it in 86 or whatever. All we're told that this woman keeps hearing sounds, which apparently she was attacked,
Yeah.
but we never saw it.
Yeah, there was no, surprisingly there actually was no Fangeir in the 86 side of these two episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
but she was attacked before during the Olympics when one of the other competitors got attacked by like the fangs, and she's like, I'm traumatized. I keep seeing flying fangs everywhere.
Yeah. She sees
But what's really interesting is that like when it attacks her towards the end of episode 18, she keeps dodging it. And I'm like, what? No one else doing that.
Yeah, what, like, do you not see the flying daggers coming into your neck that you couldn't like jump forward or whatever? Like, you just gotta let them peer. I'm like, they're gonna come down. So,
see,
but
like at least credit to the Spider Fangeir, like in the first episode, at least like when he attacked that woman at the funeral, like the fangs came from behind. She wouldn't be able to see them even if she wanted to.
Yeah.
But like a lot of the other cases, it's like the fangs appear like right above the Fangeir, and then they fly towards the victim. So it's like, how do you not run out of the way?
I don't know. Maybe it's just paralyzed with fear. But then again, I'm like, no. Well, I guess so. But at the same time, no. But I mean, this
like, how many times would Yusuke Urameshi get consumed by a Fangeir because of these people?
I have, writing a sperm. But I mean, she's a badass that she actually like stands up to the Fangeir with her bow.
Oh yeah, that's even like right in the head.
Yeah, just shooting at it and aiming at it is like, come on, like, but it's not. I'm like obviously not doing anything.
Yeah. See, fun fact: if you haven't watched our Ultraman Blazar video, the central nervous system of a sea star is actually in the center, not way up there. That's just one of its 5 other body systems. But you got to go for the mouth/anus.
That's the thing with cephalopods and certain in that family.
Echinodermata.
Just like. Where they're just like they can their arms or limbs, it doesn't matter, they can lose them, it's no problem.
Yeah.
But if the head is gone, well, that's an entire then it's game over. But yeah, so because of this attack, this is now the secondary attack because Wataru didn't want to fight. He didn't want to fight. He's like,
I'll just get an Ixa's way. He can use Garu. Granted, it's Garu fake, but he can use Garu. We'll never see it, but he could also use Basha. Actually, I'm surprised he doesn't just use Basha and do like twin guns or something.
Yeah, it's so weird, but like it's amazing because again we found out that Megumi told Wataru that the woman was attacked, or her name is Mami. Mami got attacked, and it's like he finally feels bad. I'm like, bro, do you not know what show you're in? The person that you're focusing on is the one that's gonna get attacked, and you're gonna find out.
Or you're gonna the one doing the attacking.
Yeah, or you're gonna feel bad. You're gonna feel like a total dick because I didn't save them, and it's like, just shows up, fights the Fangeir, and it's again. This is again with a lot of people just. That they don't like about Kiva is the fact that finally summons all 3 of his forms, and it's just a cluster of parts.
I mean, honestly, considering that we had Climax form in the previous season, I was not bothered by it. I have to say it looks, I would say it looks more closely to Agito's Trinity form, but I would have to say it looks better because with Agito Trinity, it's like, still has the regular ground form chest that he has when he basically transforms. So only his 2 arms change. But here it's like, not only do his 2 arms change, but also his chest. The only real complaint with Doga Baki that I have is the fact that we only see it the one time.
Yeah, to me, it kind of felt more like it felt really like Frankensteinian, which kind of goes with the story. Like it's a fusion of all of the souls within Castle Dora.
Yeah.
So it's really no big deal that this wound up happening. So
Yeah, honestly, I think the only thing that you could really improve upon is either A, you use it more often, which we know they won't, but
mhm.
or you give a canonical explanation as to why he only uses the one time. And honestly, given what's going to happen in the next two-part episode, I feel like it would have been just better if he saved Doga Baki for the next episode instead of this episode
Mhm.
for
Yeah.
reasons we're going to get into once we get into that two-parter.
Yeah. But obviously beats the Fangar. But again, well, sorry, Nago goes crazy trying to find this guy who is the Fangar,
Yeah.
and he nearly gets arrested. The guy has lost his mind.
And he's also more obsessed with collecting the button than taking down the perp. Because, like, you know, what I found especially stupid about episode 18 was the fact that like when they first established that he captures a perp, then he takes
it. Yeah,
it.
that's what I was like.
But
Wait, so I'm like,
here he's letting him go.
just to
The
get.
button.
Is it because Kiva? Is that it? Because every time you fought Kiva, like, oh, that's the prize. That's the now your whole bounty hunting thing. I'm like, yeah, but you freaking attack police officials and government officials to get to him, and it's like, okay, what? And that's really all you care about, Nago. Now you care about the buttons. You care about the trophy. It's like, oh yeah, no, it's not. You didn't hunt the lion, shoot the lion, and now taking the lion as a trophy. You pretty much tranked it. You chased it. You tired it. Like way worse. You tranked it
Shaved his
just
mane, but did
shaved his.
not finish the
You didn't.
kill.
Yeah, you didn't. You just left them beaten, bruised, and like way worse off than finishing it
It's
off.
like
It makes
even
no
like
sense.
even Nago, it's like he takes the bun and then the fan guy punches him and he's like still just like laughing in the ground while the fan guy just walks up. I'm
You
like,
just walk. Yeah, because I was just like,
I got the bun, and I'm like,
yeah,
okay, it's cool
I
you got the
was.
bun, but
I was
you
seriously like,
know,
is this a Fangar that Itza's gonna take out, not Kiva? But no, it's like no, he just wanted his button. That's it. And then apparently the Fangar runs to where this woman is, and then just does that, and obviously Kiva destroys him. But yeah, this whole thing with Nago, again, that's what happens when someone sees the world in black and white. It's like I'm assuming, or just like with how the story's going, is that you realize what you've got, what you have, isn't cutting it. And also you realize it's like, okay, well, why does he not fight me? Why is he focusing on taking out Fangires? That's our job. Why is Kiva doing that? It's like, yeah, I'm thinking like he's just like, yeah, you're useless, man. Like you
yeah.
and the whole blue sky, your
It's like
whole thing is just useless because Kiva is taking out the demons while you guys are just there twiddling your thumbs and upgrading your little toy. Which that crane, even I know I've said it before, but I'm like, I love it when like things actually fit the motif. But that crane though, it is clearly a crane that they just modified.
yeah.
It's real. It was like what high tech? What high technology? What specifics? I mean, I feel like Kamen Rider Birth had more a more futuristic arsenal than what Itza has.
I will say this. One thing I actually appreciate about the Reiwa era is that the Japanese research and development are amping up their technology so they can put it into the shows, like freaking that hover cycle that Revice had in when he uses the Terra Vice stamp. They had actual Japanese engineers build a fully functioning hover cycle in real life.
Yeah.
Just to put it on the show.
Yeah.
You can purchase it too. What's it called? The Thouser Dog. They built the most sophisticated robotic dog powered by AI in real life just so they could use it in a TV show.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then they build these massive exoskeletons like Iron Man Mark 1. Like massive, very lightweight, can lift several hundred times the human output. Mm-hmm. Just so they could use it as a cockpit in King Oger.
Yeah.
It's like you're like, when you have that in mind, you're advancing real life technology for a TV show. Just repainting a shovel seems very lazy in comparison.
Well, yeah, no, that whole excavator, pardon the angle for a moment. So the whole
thing about Eats is like, you know, they hype it up to be this whole badassery thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like well, yeah, I mean, I know it's like the late 2000s, but I'm like, Hibiki seemed more futuristic at this point than what you guys have been shoveling out. But that's just,
and Todoroki just rides around in a van, a regular van, like one that looks more primitive than Desert Thunder from Power Rangers Turbo.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No,
and I point that out because, like, we do see Desert Thunder like up close in that movie. Like, this is not just like me, just like oh, another obligatory reference to Johnny Young Bosch, because of course Mike and Steve are the biggest Johnny Young Bosch fans. No, this is like legit. Like we do see the Desert Thunder in human size. It's just a van that's souped up. Todoroki rides in a van that looks more primitive than that, and even that still looks more sophisticated than what we got in Kiva. So there's that. And
my apologies.
Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, no.
So yeah. I mean, that's just my complaint with Itza and Nago of what's going on, because I feel like he's now realizing, like, what you're doing or what's going on is not really, like the whole thing, like, I was like, you broke character definitely in this episode with this Fangire, with how you are, and even your relationship with people. It's like, I only care about one thing, and that is to take down Kiva. And I'm like, why? Like, we never really get the reason why. It's kind of like a Captain Ahab type of thing. Like, why are you chasing the whale? Why are you so obsessed? We never really know. We just know that he's just a very black and white person. That I must, because I am the hunter and he is the hunted.
I am him. He is me. We are all together.
But I'm like, well, you know what? Wataru is actually a sweet, sweet boy.
Yeah.
Just trying to live his life, but you're the one that, yeah. You just want to take, it's like many of my lady friends who are watching Kiva with me. They're like, I just want to take him home and just wrap him up and just put him on my shelf. I'm like, he is rather adorable. Out of all the Kamen Riders, that, like, especially during that time, he was the most submissive looking out of all of them.
Yeah, he's a sweet, innocent 22-year-old who's raised by a 14-year-old mommy.
Yeah, definitely.
If you thought the Shiba household from Shinkenger was messed up, where a dude got adopted by a woman who's younger than him.
Look, Mako and Kotaha and all of them, they're pulling the same Shizuka vibes. They got to hold it all together. They really do. But so that whole thing with Nago just was like, man, take a vacation, Nago.
Yeah. You gotta learn to chill.
Very much. We gotta learn how to chill.
It's like you got to the point where you cared more about the button than the actual perp. It's like, I got the button, but you didn't catch the perp. Like, you
didn't even care that he got away. You beat up the cops. You assaulted officers. You did all this. You did all this stuff just for. Also, what was this button like tied with? Was it tied on with like with metal wire or something that he couldn't just like he couldn't rip it off? Are you that weak, Nago? Like what?
I don't
What's
know.
going
And
on?
honestly, I think it's the button to his pants because it looked like it was a pant button. Not
Mm-mm-mm.
gonna lie, which kind of makes it more suspect. But yeah, no, like one thing we did not mention last week is that both Nago and Rook have homages to the Gorongi from Kuga, where one likes to play the death game, and the other has like his little bracelet with the tally marks.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, this what Kuga came out like what 2000
The 2000,
in 2000. Yeah, so
yeah, January of 2000,
this was technically closed. Like it had already been like 8 some years already.
10 years too.
Almost 10 years because
Almost 10
right
years.
because
Yeah,
right yeah
because Decade is the 10th season, hence the
yeah.
name Decade. Of course, Decade only lasted half a year, so like W kind of threw off that whole like time span thing because it also aired in 2009.
Well, yeah, because I'm like, there's only so much you could do with referencing. It's not like Gokaiger that you have 35 years worth of stuff that you could reference, whereas where it's like,
like if we added a
I mean,
two-part episode for every writer instead of just
but I mean,
9 plus 2 plus 2, we
I
would
think they
still.
were just like, I think they were just trying to get it like, no, we're because again, we have other writers like Zao that just references everyone, and now every Kamen Rider since has been referencing from Ichigo all the way up to their
Yeah.
current timeline, which I'm like, is it necessary? I mean, why not? I mean, why not? I mean, we have. Why not reference the secondary riders, the third riders, and
Like we have an anniversary every 2 to 3 years, just because like one of them is a 5-year anniversary to the Showa era, the other is a 5-year anniversary to the Heisei era, and because the Heisei era always like ended on a perfect 20-year span, that means that Reiwa will celebrate its 5th year, while the same year that Heisei is celebrating its 25th year, convening enough. So that's why you have Kamen Rider Legend and Kamen Rider Godchild, but it is what it is. But yeah, so like, what score would you give these 2 episodes?
I'm gonna give them a 9 just for how neatly it was all wrapped up and how the story was presented. Yeah. I mean, it's a Toya focused heavily episode. I mean, through and through. It's just his influence is what caused everything to happen, turning out good for what it is. But I wish they could have like mentioned, or she could have said something, because everyone that's mentioned his father to Wataru, it was a negative or whatever, but or like he's a weirdo, he's this, he's that, and I bet you she would have.
He's also a good guy.
Yeah, I bet she would have said the same thing, especially how like Toya made her clean the toilets when she was a little girl, because that's some type of training that was going on.
Now your arms are strong enough to use a violin bow. But more importantly, they're not strong enough to use an archery bow.
And also trying not to disrespect Jiro with a plunger in his sacred place to drink coffee. So, it's like, and
I love how like both her and Megumi are like both benching like what I would have to say about 90 on each side. No, not 90. I'd say about 80 on each side, so that's going to be 160 plus the bar itself. That's almost that's almost like 180 pounds right there.
180 pounds, yeah. Because I was actually looking at that. I'm like, wait, what are they lifting? Well, of course, Wataru can, because Wataru is like,
it's like he's lifting his legs up more than his arms.
Yeah. So I was just like, well, you know what? Cannot say that strong women are not attractive, man.
Strong women are very beautiful.
Yes, but yeah, that the whole thing was I wish that she had like mentioned his name or mentioned Toya's name to Wataru, realizing that there's a person out there that left a positive influence on them instead of a negative one.
Yeah.
But we
I
never
mean, there
got
was the frog
that.
dude, but
Well, yeah, but I mean,
but
like
we know what happened with him.
with an actual person, like an actual human being, it's
Right.
something that like a Fangire,
Yeah,
I get
yeah. You actually did mention that, like up to a certain point, like the only people who have anything nice to say about Otoya are Fangires, while the only
yeah, but
while any human who knows him, never say anything positive.
they've always trashed him, and it's like we're getting also close to why the entities inside Castle Dora, as was said in the previous episode, that Castle Dora ate Wataru, but then he woke up. It's like, wait,
We made a
why did
promise to Otoya.
yeah, they made a promise to him, and it's like, what? I mean, well, first off, Jiro, what did he do that made you change your mind? What did he do that, I'm like, obviously, but it's like that's why I said like this should have been an episode where we focused on Otoya's good side towards humanity, because to realize like, you know what, if he could have changed the mind of a spoiled little brat like this, of course he could have gotten to Jiro.
Yeah.
But again, not there yet. Not there yet. They let him live. They let him, but it would have made more that if they like maybe not brought her back in episodes, but just to realize that there is someone that left an amazing mark that his father left on her life. That's why
I don't think she even told Water that she used to be a violinist.
yeah. No, it's like we know because of the flashbacks.
But I don't think he knows.
Yeah, he don't know. He don't know. And even so, he would probably be just like Yuri, just like everyone else, like, oh my god, you're so amazing, you're so great at playing the violin, but it's like you don't get it. She has no love for it. I mean, yeah, okay, cool, yeah, I can play you Bink Sake like no problem in an amazing way, but I don't like playing the violin. I'm good, thank you, but I have no love for it. So
yeah,
I mean that's my whole thing. I was like, I just wish that they had mentioned the relationship between Mami and Toya.
Yeah, I'll say this, and like between this episode and the next episode, I have to wonder, like has Yuri ever even mentioned Otoya to Megumi in any capacity? Because it does feel kind of weird that like Yuri's daughter and Otoya's son are like hanging out, and neither of them seems to know about the other's parents.
Yeah. It's very strange because again, I think
we could even say like Master Chief like knows about the both of them, but the thing is, and like thinking back, we almost never see him inside the coffee shop anymore until like the 30s of the show.
Yeah,
like
where is the old man?
Yeah, like we see him at the gym, but he used to hang out all the time at the coffee shop, but like we don't see him like at the coffee shop anymore until like episode 30 something, where like stuff gets revealed and stuff. But like but
even the coffee shop owner himself is like
doesn't mention it. It's like does the coffee shop.
Why are we keeping it vaguely secret, guys? Like what are you trying to hide, or what are you trying not to tell us? Or maybe it could just be you didn't write it in. No.
All right, so moving on to the next two episodes. Okay, like we're gonna try to keep it really, really quick. So in 2008, Ken goes back. Back.
Yeah.
And he's he's excited about Kiva. He feels inspired by Kiva. Of course, Nago's like, Kiva's a jerk. He's a threat. He's a menace. I'm going to full J. Jonah Jameson about it. And you can trust me. It's not like I'm a psychopath who just like let a criminal escape just so I can collect his button.
Toya, chill out, man. Just chill.
So, but after consulting a psychic, which by the way, psychics aren't real, they're scam artists, and boy, I cannot wait for a certain episode in the future involving Rook. But yeah, so yeah, somehow as a result, Wataru's body ends up being possessed by Otoya. So in a sense, it's like we're getting a double dose of Otoya in this two-parter.
We're getting a Freaky Friday here, except there's no Jamie Lee Curtis to their Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah.
Or whichever version of the movie you like to watch, you know?
Yeah, no. It's like I'm gonna be honest, like the original version, what's her name? The best friend's mom is even more racist than she is in the 2006 version.
Yeah. Disney. What were you doing? Wow.
Yeah, the Disney one was the newer one was much safer. Like it's like
it's still a Disney production, wasn't it? Both Freaky
Wait,
Fridays.
Are they both?
I believe so, because it starred like the same the same actress that was oh my god, I don't remember her name, but like who had been on many Disney properties. And remember, back in the day, you were contracted to be in those films. So if you did one film, it's kind of like now, where it's like you do one film for a film company, you are contracted to do multiples.
Yeah,
but I think
Freaky Friday was in 1976, and Jodie Foster was in it apparently. It's
a young Jodie Foster.
Yeah. Barbara Harris, John Aston, Patsy Kelly, Dick Van Pattern. I almost got excited. Oh, Dick Van Dyke? Nope, Dick Van Pattern. I don't know who that is. Yeah, and you're right. It is Walt Disney. It was Walt Disney.
Yeah, so that's why when they remade it with Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan, it was like, wait, no, it's a Disney property. I know that. That was at the time that a lot of remakes of a lot of things were happening. So I was like, this was just one that apparently everyone thought was an original idea, but I'm like, wait, I remember seeing this a long time ago. And it's like, no, it's a remake, but now brought up to date, and it's definitely a product of its time. But.
Yeah, all I know is that when NBC did the live version, they did a shot for shot reenactment of the 2006 one with Brittany Snow, Michelle Pfeiffer. And what's his name? Zac Efron.
Yeah,
I don't remember all the actors' names. Queen Latifah was in it.
Yeah. Apparently, I've been told that they're trying to remake that movie just like they did with Mean Girls, but I'm like, I don't know, guys.
See, like there are good remakes and there are bad remakes. A good remake is Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, which was a remake of a bedtime story with what's his name, Marlon Brando, but his character is played by Steve Martin, while the other dude is played by Michael Caine. But then that had a terrible remake of a remake called The Hustle with Rebel Wilson playing Steve Martin's character and Hathaway playing Michael Caine's character, and it's
not because it was gender bent, people. It's
honestly, gender bending it ironically shows that you missed the entire point of the 1980s remake in the
that's what I mean. It's horrible writing. Like you could put any actors.
Yeah,
it's kind of like they redid the movie. They've done it 3 times already. Ocean's 11 or the Ocean series.
Oh yeah, the Ocean's 8.
Like the remake with Clooney and Damon and all them. Like, oh my god! But then you did it with Anne Hathaway, Rihanna, and again, not shitting on it. And I'm like, that could actually
it was Sandra Bullock.
Yeah, but Rihanna was also in that one as well. It's like, but it's like this could be an amazing film, and it's just like it boils down to the writing. You have amazing actors, and don't get me wrong, you could have. I mean, look at Brando, for crying out loud. And giving the great performance as Brando would normally do.
Yeah,
But
it's like
then it's like, look at the writing, for crying out loud. It's like,
it's like it's like if you made it like the 1970s version of Charlie's Angels or even the 2000s
oh
version of
boy,
Charlie's
don't
Angels,
even.
like that
Don't
would have
even.
been fine. That would have been fine. Like that Ocean's
But
8 would have worked if you wrote it like that. Problem is, you wrote it like the 2018 version of Charlie's
then,
Angels.
yeah, but then it's like, it's kind of like, not to add fuel to the fire because I won't, but apparently I will at this point. Comparing Ghostbusters and then 2016 and then these two new films that came out. And don't get me wrong, I did watch all of them. And I will literally say I did like certain things from 2016, but you gotta admit the writing, the whole character build and everything. I'm like, no. That's
See,
why
I haven't even seen the
that's
2 newest ones, but I did
that's
see
why
2016.
that's why Sony, when they do, like when they did their Ghostbusters anniversary or whatever, or they've never, when they did a bundle and they have not put 2016 on there. They put Afterlife on there, but not. That's like, yeah, that's why
they would only include it if you're trying to reach a quota of having a certain number of movies in a set.
But the thing is that they know that they messed up, just like with anything. It's like, you messed up because the writing sucked, the plot sucked, everything sucked, but you just did it because why? It's kind of like if they were to do a Kamen Rider series and remake like a beloved Kamen Rider series, but you're doing like the girl version, but you're not giving the heart and soul. Let's take Double and that story. It's like, well, we can't do the same story. We got, all right, then write me another amazing story, but with female versions of Double. But you couldn't do it because you're like, we're doing it, but we're kind of also falling back on what's already established. Which again, it's like, okay, if I wanted to see Double again, I would rewatch Double. I would not watch the lady version because it's pretty much just that. It's a retelling of the same story, but just with females.
Yeah, and keep in mind, I really liked Pretty Guardian Sailor Deno. Where like Momotaro possesses that little girl's body. He's got like the little ribbon in the front and a little ribbon in the back.
See, that's amazing. That is like, you would never think, but I'm like, no, that's amazing. That's good writing right there, because you thought, I'm like, you know what, this is going to be a joke, but people know it'll be a joke, but let's just run with it. Let's just do it. And it's like, Pretty Sailor Deno, go. And I'm like, yeah, that's definitely a thing. That's definitely the thing that we will remember. But again, it's like, yeah, it's all about how you present it. It's all how it comes out. Remakes can be amazing. Remakes can be good. I mean, look at Shin Kamen Rider, a remake of the original Kamen Rider Ichigo. I thought the movie was amazing.
They're more faithful to the manga.
Yeah, it was very, very good. I was like, wow. I even took friends and they're like, is this the whole? No. I mean, this is just like, and they're like, wow, we had no idea. Watching a Godzilla movie, you have Shin and then you have -1, and both are amazing works. That you're like, well, yeah, the original. Yeah, this is like the original movie. The original Gojira never happened. This is our Gojira now, and it's kind of like, whoa, yeah. See, you can make good remakes. You can make good, even Oscar award-winning ones.
Yeah.
So I mean, it all matters of like your passion and love for it. See, that's what I mean. If you don't have passion and love when you do something, it's not going to come out good.
Yeah. I like how we just tied that into the previous 2 episodes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Toya takes over Wataru's body, and it is hilarious because there's this element of culture shock. Even when these group of delinquents who wanted to beat up Wataru and Shizuka, like he takes over his body and he just like does the Toya thing, just sweeps around them like Flip flop, flip flop.
That really messed with my head because I was like, wait a minute. It's like the father and the son are two different people, but here's the son. It's like
acting like the father.
Yeah, the actor.
Even tells Pizzica, it's like, you're a little young for me. Maybe come back in 10 years.
Oh my god. Well, no joke. Seriously, the actress who is Shizuka is already like 30-something years old. So
yeah,
I'm pretty
she
sure
was born. The actress is born in 93.
93.
So,
she was a youngin. She was a
so she
barely
was
young
like
girl.
16 at the time.
What?
That's no. She was like 15 or 16.
Yeah. It's around that age. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
you have to remember, she's a year younger than me. So.
Yeah, no, I was when Kiva was out, I was 20. So there's a I think there's a small gap in between our ages.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were like in our late teens, early adulthood while she was still in hers. But a beautiful woman. Yeah, beautiful woman nonetheless. Everyone in this series has aged beautifully.
Yeah.
Even the men. But yeah,
especially the men.
Yeah, look, yeah, Kazumi boy. What the fuck? And now it's like you're going after. Yeah, I love how he said that. It's like, oh, you're a little too young for me. Come back, boy. But then Kazumi boy is hitting up on Mitan, who is, I'm like, mother, come on. The girl was not even born when you started acting. So what the hell? It's like. Well, maybe that was a throwback to Otoya how he was.
Yeah.
But the fact that Wataru is acting like his father.
Yeah, no, that was brilliant. If you've ever seen Face Off, where Nick and John are like pretending to be each other.
Yeah, I want to know, like, did they do that? Did you spend time with Toya and just get his mannerisms and everything and just start bringing it down like he was hitting it spot on. This is where it's like you look at Wataru, or the actor who is Wataru, and you're like, you really are a good actor because you were really hitting those points very well.
Yeah. Yeah, and like he even goes to a maid cafe and stuff, and he manages to steal the Ixa knuckle from Nago, just like how he would do it to Jiro back in the past.
He remembered it.
Yeah, he remembered it.
He remembered it. So it's like this. So wait, this really is Toya. Yeah, like, this really is him, because it's like, wait, how? What? What do you mean? Like, yeah, I know. Well. Oh, okay.
Yeah, and what's it called? Yeah, but so he gives it to a Megumi because she oddly enough reminds him of Yuri, and then they get attacked by a ladybug Fangire, and the bird motif is a vulture on his chest, barely noticeable. Yeah. But I do love the wing plates on his back. That's a really nice touch.
Very interesting look, very interesting style for us. I'm like, and also a ladybug Fangire, which I'm like, out of all the things that you could have done, a ladybug. But I'm like, well, it's just like was said in A Bug's Life. Just because I'm a ladybug doesn't
make me a girl. Yeah.
Yeah. And who they get to be this Fangire, who is apparently the charlatan, the prophet, or whatever the hell he is.
Yeah.
In this is a very famous actor who, we may not know his face, but his voice, especially when he speaks, because he has done not just Kamen Rider, he has done Sentai, he has done anime, he has done a lot of things, as we all know.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear it or no?
Yeah, I can hear it. Yeah. Barely.
Yeah, it is Ryusei Nakao. Yeah. Famous voice. He did the main villain in Deca Ranger. He is Caesar Clown in One Piece, but more so and famously, he is the voice of Lord Frieza in the Dragon Ball series, which he even stated a long time ago in an earlier interview. He's like that Toriyama Sensei asked him personally to be the voice of Frieza because he was kind of like, I'm not sure if I can do it. It's like, no, you can, you will. Yeah, you have that presence. And lo and behold, people, lo and behold.
Yeah, he was also in Bleach Fade to Black and Diamond. And,
oh yes,
because he was Mayuri. He was Mayuri.
Yeah, he's Mayuri Kurotsuchi. He's done many iconic roles. He really has. I mean, he's been in the. I think he's also done some movie roles in Hollywood, kind of like Sonny Chiba.
He definitely did the Japanese dub of Professor Quirrell in The Philosopher's Stone. The video game.
Yeah.
So that was actually kind of cool to find out.
Yeah, he's done a lot. He's kind of he's up there kind of, well, maybe not so much, but like he's kind of up there with like the levels of Sonny Chiba and all of them, like, you know, famous actors that Hollywood directors have been like, you know, like, yeah, we want to work with it. We want to. And it's just like, wow, really?
Yeah, and he would continue to play characters in Tokusatsu. Like he will later go on to be in Ghost Sager, in Go Kaiger the movie, and reprising his older role, but like, and he was also in Ninja.
Yeah. So it's kind of like one of those things. Like I've mentioned to so many people, like, you know, that the voice actors have done Sentai and have actually appeared on these shows. You can't imagine how many people get shocked when I tell them that Kiryu Violet, the old man, is actually the infamous Buggy the Clown. Like, no, that's actually him. That's actually Chiba Sensei, who is known for Apponmon and Buggy and all of them. So it's like, and it's also the narrator of this certain series.
Yeah,
I'm waiting for Ryusei to actually be the narrator. And
Nako was also Darkwing Duck. He was 5 in Beauty and the Beast 2. He played Yakko in Animaniacs. Ling in Mulan and Mulan 2. Yes. By the way, I appreciate it when they actually bring back the same voice actor for Disney sequels, because sometimes direct-to-video Disney sequels don't even do that in the English dub. He played Zero the Hutt. He's been in quite a number of things.
He is truly a man that is up there that is to be respected in the Japanese voiceover world, like along with many other actors that have come, and you know, like this is clearly the voice that you're like, this is my childhood right here. This is the man. This is the guy that I, you know, it's like our whole, like our Jim Cummings or like even in anime, like this is our Richard Epcar, our Tara Strongs, or you know, just like the people that we grew up listening to when we were younger. As like
Wayne Grayson or Phil Lamar.
Yeah, definitely. He's up there with that, and even so, it's like just to see him in this show. I mean, even like they didn't even hide it in the preview for this episode. As we ended the last two, they left he got the last line, which I was like, time to watch, man, because he's coming. I'm like, all right, let's do it. So he is a ladybug, which I'm like, kind of references Frieza in a way, just because of how like the motif was.
I will tell you. So the gist of it of the 2008 plot is he manages to knock out Nago and Kengo, and while Megumi tries to use the Ixa knuckle, she fails. Like she has a clean shot, point blank, can't even fire it. Not even saying she could transform with it. No, she can't even just use it as a regular pistol.
That's the thing. I mean, even her mother, not to go into anything, like she barely, if anything, even though this is something that was developed by her family, it's like, you think that she knows how to wield this thing when it's like, no. And I'm like,
it's like that line from Batwoman where it's like, the suit is is complete perfection. It will be when it
What?
fits my family.
Yeah, it's like it's the same thing with Megumi. I'm just like, she wants to eat, she wants to be Itza, she wants to be, and I'm like, honey, I'm not I'm not doubting your abilities. What I'm doubting is that I don't think you can even handle this or even know what you're doing with it. Like, well, my grandmother made it, and my mother, blah blah. Yeah, but it doesn't mean that it's yours. It's just, I mean, yeah, okay, great, but I was even like, oh, is she gonna do it? Is she gonna do it? She was like, no, didn't do it.
Yeah,
Didn't.
it's like
You don't even know how to do the henshin position at all. It's like, how
yeah,
can you
like
claim that the
it's like
machine is yours?
Merlin made Excalibur, but like it's not meant for Merlin to use.
Yeah. It's like, or if Merlin had kids, it's like, well, it's my birthright. I'm like, BS on your birthright. Okay, you cannot wield such a thing
You are
because
not worthy.
you're not worthy. You're not. And it's like, I can say like, well, does just stay tuned. Stay tuned. But it's kind of like when it does, it's like, for crying out loud, Jiro was able to use Itza. And it's like, it's kind of like, wait. So they can, but the people that claim that this is mine, that this is blah, 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 you can't.
Yeah, because and like this is something I was concerned about when Kiva was fighting the Asteroida fan guy in the previous episode at that auditorium. It's like I was like really concerned if like your mental state affects your ability to use your abilities, because like we see this in other seasons, by the way. Like for example, Zabi can't use Zabi if your mind is not in the right place. So I'm like, would Kiva be in full power if Wataru's head is not in the game? Will Nago not be able to use Ixa properly if his head is not in the game? Well, we know that Megumi can't use Ixa because her head is not in the game.
Yeah, no, that's kind of the thing that I'm just like, it's one thing. I'm like, okay, so it's like, if someone were to take Kivat and transform into Kiva, would that work? Would that happen? I don't know.
Yeah.
But this thing, I kind of, it is that form. It's kind of like, what it reminded me of? It reminded me of Gundam Wing when a pilot would go into either the Zero or the Epion.
Oh yeah, and they would
go crazy. They would go nuts
because it's like,
they would go absolutely bonkers for getting in there and like and it's like, no, only Zex or Hero can go in there because they are worthy. They are strong enough to deal with it. And it's like,
not gonna lie though, it was kind of weird having Hero inside the Epion and Zex inside the Wing Zero.
I mean, the thing is that technically speaking, the Epion is the Wing Gundam just rebuilt, but the system and everything. But on that, it's just like, no, that's seriously what I said when this was happening. It's like, so so no one can pilot or use Itza without going crazy, because that's seriously what I would think. Like, oh, that's why Nago is like going crazy over the buttons now. He's more obsessed over it because Itza is just making him go nuts. But no, that's just his fucking obsession.
Yeah, because when Jiro and Otoya use it, like they're both perfectly fine.
They're fine. Yeah, they're fine. But it's like
their bodies are messed up, that they're coughing up blood in the public bathroom. But
it really wears you down. It really wears you down.
But mentally, they're fine.
Yeah. But it's that's the whole thing. I was like, okay, it would have been amazing if, so the person you think is a curse or a plague on society is actually the savior, and what you believe to be the shining light, the beacon, the star that is to help the world and blah blah blah, is actually what's causing the destruction of mankind and society, especially with Nago. It's like, that's kind of was like, what, because again, if you look up the users of Ixa, there's a long list. And I'm like, no one died?
I said, like, Ixa is probably passed around almost as much as Kaiza is.
It is literally a dragon pass type of thing with Ixa. It's like, But then it's like, you know, who's like, you never done this before, have you? No, never. Okay. Yeah, it shows. It
Yeah.
shows, especially with
Yeah.
Ixa. It's like,
Yeah, so Ladybug holds Nago and Kengo hostage. It's like I want you to save them as Ixa. I dare you. I triple dare you. Go try to save them as Ixa. But of course, for some reason her leg's not working because as Otoy explains in Wateru's body, it's like, yeah, you have a pseudo illness. Your mental state is preventing you from being able to use the gear properly, but I can help you. So she's like dragging herself inside a track and field while he's riding on a tricycle about to burn the Ixa knuckle. And I'm like,
yeah.
if you know your mom's or rather your grandma's technology, you would know that is an empty threat. It will not burn if you throw it into fire, because it's like, how pathetic would the armor be if it can't handle a little heat?
I mean, with what we've seen them give Ixa, I'm not surprised that they use like some type of inferior metal or something to like keep it together, especially with everything it does. It's like the cursed armor is the White Knight armor, while that of the Black Knight, which is Kiva, is the one that is the world's savior. He is literally the hero that we deserve, while
not the one that we need.
Not the one that we need, which is Ixa. So
yeah,
I'm like,
like, we do get
boy.
one fight scene with Otoya as Kiva, and it's cool. Like, he's very efficient, and he even name drops. It's like, hey, you're the son of Kiva the second archer. It's like, how do you know that name? How do you know that name? But yeah, no, but that's all we get of it, you know. Like, Megumi manages to rescue Nago. She throws him the Ixa knuckle. He uses Ixa instead of her. And like, they make a good combi. They save Kengo, easy come, easy go. And that's pretty much all there is for the 2008 story. Oh, and Wataru, like, when he's fully freed of Otori's control, he's like, hey, this violin, like, how did it get made? Like, this bass looks perfect. Like, what's going on? So it's like, one less present from Daddy. One less present from Daddy.
Did you not know Wataru that this violin was your father's, or did you just think like, oh, it's just there?
Yeah, and so going back to the the 86 story, and we're gonna keep this even more brief because actually only one very specific, I'd say two things happen. Rook comes back. He's doing another death game where he's hunting after brides. What's her name? Yuri tries to challenge him twice, and in both times, not only does she get unceremoniously defeated, but he doesn't even like finish her off. He's like, "You're not a bride. I'm moving along."
Yeah, I mean, what's so? I mean, obviously plot armor, obviously, but I'm like, why not finish her off? Rook, what separates her from every other woman that you have ended in this
especially
series?
the one holding the bridal magazine?
Yeah, I'm like, so everyone else
wasn't even part of the game.
Yeah, I was like, so everyone is meant to die and blah blah blah, but not Yuri, because it's not written in it yet. So I'm like, okay, but still, I'm like, really?
Yeah,
really?
but during one of their attempts to intercept Rook, Otoya comes across a woman that he believes to be Yuri, but is actually another mysterious woman named Maya. So, you know, I know Jared, if he was here, he would use the phrase, and I quote, "Dommy mommy," but
See, that's the thing. It's like, one of my friends was asking me, so I know like the actress who is Yuri is not in the 2000s plotline, but is she? I'm like, Yuri, no, but the actress who is Yuri is, and she got to this point. She's like, she is so beautiful. I'm like, I know, right? But I'm just missing that city pop bangs that she has. Like,
Yeah.
but it's like, but wait, Yuri's gone though. Who is this one? I'm like, well, I'm like, you can keep watching. I gotta review this and make a show, but I know who this is. We know who this is. It's just like, well, why does she? That just kind of felt like, it's like, you're like, okay, cool. We have another role. Do you want to take that one? It's like, yeah. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what's funny is that the actress, what's funny is that the actress who plays Yuri actually does come back in Geo in a very interesting character that's not from Kiva. But we'll get to that when we actually talk about Geo.
Yeah.
But yeah, so let's talk about Maya for a second. So Maya's like, I've never been mistaken for another woman before. It doesn't really feel that good. I'm like, yeah, that's fair. I don't think anyone would appreciate that.
I mean, like, you ever seen those situations where people are like wrongfully accused of being? That actually happened to me once. Yeah. And but luckily I was like, no, I'm not this person. So
I remember one time at a Halloween fair, someone thought I was some kind of actor on some TV show on ABC.
See, you got an actor. I nearly got arrested.
And it's like they asked me for an autograph. I'm like, why would you want my...
Did I do something? I mean, are you a fan of the show? I mean, yeah, okay.
And yes, I did check their autograph book to make sure it wasn't a Death Note in disguise, so that's good. But I imagine that they're probably pissed at me by now. If they figured out that I'm probably not who they think I was.
Did they think you were John C. Reilly or something?
I don't know. I mean, at the time, maybe I might have been Jonah Hill or Michael Cera.
I know someone that when we were in high school, we used to call him Jonah Hill because he looked just like Jonah Hill from Superbad.
People called me Fat Michael Cera because I looked exactly like Michael Cera, but
not
fat.
Michael Cera. I'm not Michael Cera. I'm sorry. Who was his friend? Michael Cera's friend in Superbad.
Jonah Hill.
Jonah Hill. Yeah, Jonah Hill. Okay, yeah. So
ironically, Jonah Hill was playing the role of a teenage Seth Rogen.
Yeah. So it's like I knew someone that looked just like him, and same thing. People would just be like, "Oh my god!" And we would just be like, "Shut up! Don't say anything."
But yeah, so right before Rook was about to slay his final bride, Maya shows up and says, "Hey, she's not yours to take. She's mine." And he's like, yes, my queen. And I'm like, oh my god,
yeah,
oh my god,
yeah,
it's the queen. Oh my god,
yeah. It's like,
so
it's like here comes trouble, which I'm like, definitely.
So her role is humans and fangires are forbidden from interloping. So yeah, and it's the queen's duty to execute any fangires that fall in love with humans. And if you think Kiva shattering fangires by doing a flying kick was badass, she just has to raise her hand at a person and they immediately shatter.
It's very like oh my god! Well, it's what was that movie? It's like Mind Busters or something like. Or it's just simply looking at them. It's just like their head just explodes.
Oh! I know what your scanners.
That's it. Yeah. Because it's just like she just kind of does the whole thing, and I'm like, this is a very Scanners moment, man. Because I was like, I'm waiting for the person to just drop on their knees and just hear like a high pitched sound that gets higher and higher, and then it just finally, boom.
Thank you,
But
Kayaba, for keeping that
yeah,
video tabbed.
but it's like, yeah, that's what I felt with not Yuri showing
Yeah.
up. I was like,
Yeah.
well,
So
here we go.
the main revelation of the 1986 plot is the fact that we're introduced to Maya, aka a checkmate for queen, and she just
Mhm.
walks off in the middle of the dark street in the backdrop of a blood red moon.
Yeah, this is a big deal, guys.
Yeah.
This is a big deal because now you want to talk about cryptids. We just saw one, and
Yeah.
and a very, very, very big deal of a cryptid. I tell you.
Yeah, so what were your thoughts on Maya showing up and as a character
Well,
and
besides the fan base is like howling like dogs, and just me looking at them and judging them because they're just massive mommy vibes, as I've been told. I was like, you know what? The knives have been taken out, people. The guns have been drawn. Now we're getting to the hierarchy because you thought Rook was bad. Well,
yeah, if this
you know
scary dude and
if
we
this
saw
psycho,
that
if this
that very
that
nightmarish
yeah
screenshot.
yeah
Like if
that
this
whole
guy is scared
that's
of
a
her,
that's the whole like it's like what's the saying? If if the demon is frightened by a lonely woman, then you know that is the devil in disguise. It's like, guys, no, this is big. This is huge because this mangy dog who has just been, who did that to these poor people, and it's like, oh, stop, heal, and it's just like, yes, ma'am.
yeah,
I'm like, mm-mm,
and you know that the only thing that scares her is King, which we don't see
it's
yet,
king.
but
We
still,
don't
it's
see
like
yet. Are we
so.
talking
Like,
about
imagine how much
King
scarier
or
King
the
will be.
King?
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, checkmate for King.
Yeah. No, I know. It's just like, that's like, but Steven, in chess, the king doesn't mean Jack Diddley. Well, neither does the queen. Neither
Actually,
does
the
the queen.
King.
None of the pieces matter unless you know how to use them.
Yeah, like the King, and we talked about this in a previous cluster. Like the King may be functionally the weakest piece, but he's also the most important piece, and
As
that's why.
always, gentlemen and ladies, they say a master might be a master in fighting, but the unpredictable moves of a novice are far more deadly. Don't look at something and be like, oh, well, there's no way that could do it. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised what a pawn could do when put in the right position. Same thing with the king.
What's funny is that there was like an AI competition to program computers to play poker against each other, and the program that won the entire poker tournament was one that was programmed to always go all in at every hand, because all the other programs, their protocols, basically if someone bets over a certain percentage, then there's a chance that they have a strong hand, so you have to not so you have to fold. But the thing is, if you go all in every time, then it is assumed that you're gonna win. Then the program has to assume that it has a winning hand, and therefore you keep folding. So even if your hand is always junk, you're still winning automatically. So again, it's how you dangerous
use it.
novice. Dangerous novice.
It's how you use it. A man, you can have a gun, but if you have a knife and you're able to get in that killing blow with just a knife, you take it. And that's what it is with this. My God, Nago has not aged at all.
Wow.
Like I'm looking at a vid on my end about all the Rider actors. I'm like, yeah, no, everyone has still pretty much looked the same, except
So what
for the
score would you give these two episodes?
who. Again, the first two clusters are like a 9 because just like the story of itself,
Yeah.
and of course having the legend that is Ryusei as the Ladybug Fangire, but also the story of now dropping another chess piece here. You know,
Mhm.
the questions are that what people have asked me is like, so wait. There are many chess pieces. What does it mean? What's going on? Well, that's what makes you want to stay and watch, right? Well, what is that connection with Wataru? And what's the deal? Why did we specifically get a character that says I am here to kill or destroy Fangires that go against the natural order of the Fangires, which is not to associate or to fall for humans. Which I'm like, why is that a specific thing that is to be said? Well, if it needs to be said, that means it's happened.
Probably.
Yeah,
I mean
probably.
that's kind of why like I had this idea for a plot for Bayonetta 3, which honestly in retrospect still I think is better than the plot of actual Bayonetta 3.
I mean,
Where it's like, oh, it's taboo for Lumen Sage and an Umbran Witch to interlope. I wonder why. What if we had a villain who was a Lumen Sage who was half Umbran?
Well, I mean, look at
that
Bayonetta.
was my idea.
Look at Bayonetta. Honestly, who could say no to that? Like seriously.
Yeah,
But
or like Ichigo Kurosaki. It's like, oh, everyone's scared of this substitute Soul Reaper. Why are they scared of him? Because Ginjo was also a substitute Soul Reaper, and he screwed up royally. So they're gonna assume we're gonna get Ginjo 2.0 Electric Boogaloo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. It's pretty much that. So it's like, as some of my people said, they're like, well, why point that out? So are you telling me that something like that has happened? I'm like, yeah, something like that has happened, but it's not, as of right now, it's not been brought to light who or why. But it does have to do, but Wataru is involved in this somehow.
Yeah, so there's that, and yeah, so that's it for the episodes. I would have to. I will have to say I have to give these two episodes 8 and 9 respectively, because yeah, like having a basic plot around like Otoya taking over Wataru's body is kind of funny, but doesn't really go much of anywhere until the next episode. And even like the 1986 plot, also nothing important happens until episode 20. But I do like that we go back to the church that we saw in the first episode.
Yeah, it all kind of comes together. And that's the beautiful thing. As we're coming, it's making full circles, but we're also opening the doors for an even bigger story to be made.
Yeah, and so let's go to the comments. Let's see what you guys think of this cluster of episodes. Nematrix92 says, Her Majesty the Queen has arrived. Yep.
Definitely.
Is it kind of weird that we only see Doga Baki form only once? It's like Agito Trinity form, but with less logic, but cooler design. It's true.
That's what Mike said. But it's like, it's kind of like most forms, if you've noticed. I mean, with like riders, it's like, oh, this is their secondary form, which doesn't really last very long.
Yeah, but see, like this is why. So, like going back to like what I mentioned earlier, I feel like if we're gonna use Doga Baki only once, I'd rather it be used in episode 20 instead of episode 18, just because like I like there being a reason why certain form is used only once. Now, like if we talk about Agito Trinity form, the only reason Agito could go to Trinity form is because Shuichi regained his memories from before the Akatsuki Go incident.
I will be very honest with everyone. I feel like the Dogen Baki form should have been like it feels like a movie specific henshin. Like if you look at Kiva, everyone knows Kiva, and then the other form of Kiva, which I can't say right now, but we all know it. And it's like, but when you talk about, that's why I say like a lot of people don't even recognize the Dogen Baki as like being a staple of his like, a release form of his arsenal. Because they kind of like, no, it's just an upgrade. Like, like what the heck is that? You had Ols and Wizard and all of them go into like, different like secondary forms, and then there was the final form. But this one was like, but again, this is before the gimmick riders, so
what was the thing?
Technically, this is not this is not his final form. His final form will be the final form. But this is kind of just like, no, this is just like he's bringing everything.
He's using all the side forms together, just like Climax form.
Yeah, he's using every weapon to his arsenal to beat the Fangire. This isn't like, going Super Saiyan and then going to 2 and 3 and then God or whatever. It's like this. This is, again, remember, this is pre-gimmick riders. So I totally agree that the Dogabaki doesn't feel like a natural like evolution to Kiva, because it really.
I would want to see it more often, but like.
It's
because of things involving. Well, we're gonna get to it next week, but like. And actually, we'll go into more about Dogabaki next week because for reasons we're going to go into them. But so like for Agito, like he only can do Trinity form when Shuichi gets his memories back. But as soon as he loses those memories all over again and becomes Shuichi again, because like who he was before he lost memories was a different person. Like, he can't use Trinity form again. So there's a reason why Trinity form exists only for these 2 episodes. For Dogabaki, I wish they did a similar thing. Because, like, if we're going to have, like the fact that, like, Otoya taking over Wataru's body was a perfect opportunity to explain that. Because it's like, Otoya has more rapport with the 3 arms monsters. And he's probably more familiar with the ins and outs of Kiva because there's this old mystery about Kiva from 22 years ago that we haven't gone into yet. So it's like, maybe it's like Otoya might be the reason why he gets the Dogabaki form, but as soon as Otoya's gone, he can't use Dogabaki form anymore. And like, that would have worked.
Yeah,
that would have worked.
It would have.
Yeah. Instead, we get the Ixa excavator can attach to the Castle Dorn, which is honestly not that interesting of a plot point. Like we didn't even discuss it because it wasn't worth mentioning.
No, it was not. No, see that's why I say this damn crane is no.
Yeah, but I at least like that humans are listed as one of the 13 races. Okay, Psycho Orange. Hello, what's up? How you doing?
How you doing, Psycho Orange? It's been a while.
Yeah,
it's been a while.
Dark Keeper says, "Hello, guys. Hello, Dark Keeper."
Dark Keeper has been in some of our episodes before.
I think he was in some of the build episodes, probably.
No,
I definitely know that he's commented on our channel before. I just don't remember all the videos though. Triple XYZ Otoya in 2008 is a fun concept, but he does say some things that contradict things that will happen in the future. Yeah.
Also, shout out to Triple O's, our boy, who's been with us for many comments. But you're right. You're totally right. It's like, wait, what? What? Spoilers, Toya.
Yeah. It's like we can't like really go into it until like we like get to those points of contradictions.
Yeah. So,
but from the perspective of the fact that we've already seen the season before, it's like, but wait a minute. But this thing happens later on that goes against what you just said here.
Yeah, it's like put a pin in this comment because definitely. Yeah. Definitely something.
Yeah, so like even like with like the Kiva movies, like Climax Deca is more of a Deno movie than it is a Kiva movie, and like we can watch it at any point prior to episode 8. I usually watch it right after episode 8 because that's when the movie came out, like concurrently with the TV show. But honestly, it takes place at any point prior to episode 4. But that's one of the reasons why we're not going to review Climax Deca for Kiva. And as for King of Hell Castle, it's like there's really no set point that it affirmatively appears in, like with the TV show. So it's like, even though I would normally watch it like after episode 27, because Kiva does mention the movie while doing the fun fact thing in episode
Yeah.
28.
Yeah.
Honestly, we could watch it between episodes 24 and 25 because it won't affect the plot if we did at that point in the story. Yeah. Okay.
So remembering Maya, it's actually a different actor than Yuri.
Yeah. No, it is. In fact, but what's interesting is
it kind of looked the same though.
But what's funny is that I actually saw the actors who played Maya prior to I saw Kiva, because
she's done other stuff in Tokusatsu. I've definitely seen her before, especially how she looks now. She
definitely did stuff in the afterwards, but prior to 2008, she was in a certain movie that I already saw with Joe. God, I forgot his name. The guy who plays Yusuke Odanero in the guy who not Odanero, Yusuke Godai in Kuga.
Yeah.
So I saw that movie prior to seeing Kiva, so that's where I recognize her from. But yeah, even if Ixa was made for you, you are not ready for it. That much is true.
That is very true.
Yeah, it's like that line from it's like that line from Spider-Man where Tony says, "If you need the suit, then you don't deserve the suit."
Yeah, very much. Or it's kind of like even the gauntlet or something like that, where it's like, it's like, oh, very few can wield this power. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of what they're implying with Itza, which I'm just like, why are we saying that Itza is like this great power when it's really just it's faulty.
Passed around.
It's faulty. It's literally I might get shit for this, but I don't care. It's literally Darth Vader's black suit. It's
anyone could wear the black suit.
Anyone can wear the black suit, but you wouldn't want to because it's a piece of shit. It's a piece of junk that they are literally keeping together with Scotch tape. And that's pretty much Itza. Is that oh yeah, it looks cool, looks great, but the output and the payoff is not that amazing, especially with how I'm surprised they didn't put a time limit on how to on when to use Itza. I was waiting for that.
That would have made it more interesting.
It's like you have 5 minutes to wear this. Anything past 5, it's either
one of the most interesting things about Mega Silver / Chaosian Silver Ranger is the fact that up until that scene with the lightning bolt, he can only use his transformation for 2.5 minutes.
Yeah. That's what I was kind of hoping with Itza, but not even that. I'm like, well, it's one thing, but no, that's why Itza is not amazing look for a rider though. Design wise, beautiful, but
back when I used to.
Not my favorite secondary rider, I'll say that.
Back when I used to post on DeviantArt, one of my most favorite things I uploaded, and it's also probably the most liked thing I've posted on DeviantArt, was I used to do this thing where I would make double souls of Mega Man EXE and Proto Man EXE in Kamen Rider souls, and probably the most. And again, one of my most favorites that I drew, and probably one of my 2 most liked images that I've uploaded was Proto Man Ixa Soul.
That would actually be pretty awesome, especially having an Itza looking Proto Man.
Yeah, no, I actually drew that. I'll send you a link privately after we're done with the thing. Right. I also made a Kamen Rider Knight version of Ixa, just so it's of Proto Man. So just.
I've always found it fascinating how in Japan they always do that whole reference to riders, sentais, and other forms of media in properties. I'm like, yeah, we do it here, but it's I don't know. I feel like it's more special when Japan does it because you look at something like, Pokemon or whatever, and they throw
it feels more natural when they do it.
Yeah, it's I feel like there's a Kamen Rider reference or a Sentai reference.
One of my most favorite episodes of Pokemon was the season 15 episode, The Great Excel Guard.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I'm hearing some fan guy noise. Okay, last comment of the night. Is anyone driving a white Bronco in Kiva? I don't know, but if the Ixa knuckle doesn't
Mm,
fit, you know,
you know, that white Bronco gave me major OJ Simpson vibes.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't
well, I
care.
mean,
He did it. The
it's like
same with Itza. He did it.
he did it. Yeah, he wasn't driving a white Bronco, but he was just driving a white
But he's
excavator. Does that count?
guilty as the day is long, and if the glove fits, then
If the
shut the hell up.
If the Ixa knuckle fits,
Then you must acquit. Well, in this case, you're freaking wrong, and take your Chewbacca defense and get out.
yeah. Oh man, yeah. So he's
Not even
referencing
talk.
our discussion of Naked Gun trilogy on our other channel. So yeah, we may as well go into that like real quick. Yeah, definitely check out our sister channel, The Buttery Show, where we do movie reviews, video game news, etc. And we did finish a Naked Gun trilogy yesterday with 33 and 1/3, which was celebrating its 30th anniversary this month. And we've done Crow Month, we've done video game movies, anime movies in the past.
I applaud you for getting through The Crow. I really did. God damn. I'm like, I need a bottle of something.
Yeah, no, the even numbered ones were really hard to sit through, especially the fourth one.
Yeah.
Like but on our main channel, definitely be sure to comment, like, and subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and ding the bell icon to stay notified for our latest videos. Also, please be sure to share our videos because it helps us out with the algorithms. We do Ultraman Tiga on Mondays, Kamen Rider God Chart on Wednesdays. And by the way, this Wednesday will be April 3rd, which means it's Kamen Rider Day. Perfectly timed. Perfect timing. We on Thursdays, Bakuage Sentai Boom Boomger, and on Sundays, it's Kamen Rider Kiva. So definitely stick around for all of those things. And if you want to check out our personal content, Steve, where can the ladies and gentlemen and Huma Gears find you?
Just on Instagram at the Sin Prince, I post a lot of random videos. I do commissions and artwork, so everything is fair and welcome, but it is hand drawn, just to let everyone know. But I also like, again, just like I said, with the build commentaries that we did, I like to thank those who have reached out to me and sent letters on like how they look forward to our Sundays ranting about men in not very tight spandex. And I'm like, well, thank you, everyone. Thank you for showing the love. You know, thank you. Well, I don't check the numbers, but I do get notifications when the videos go online or go on YouTube and just see the number of views people give. And it may not, I mean, it's like to some may not seem like enough, but I'm like, when I see it go over like an expected number, I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
That is actually, I'm actually happy that people are sitting down and watching and hearing us talk, you know.
Yeah, and it's like and our Kiva videos tend to go up to 2 hours for some reason. So it's like if you're working a 4-hour shift, that's like 2 episodes you could be listening to in the background, and it's like and you don't have to like change to a different video, like you just stick to the one video. It's like, oh,
put it in there, just hear us rant about things. That's
Yeah, and you can find me on Instagram at Boken_Kabuto and on Twitch at twitch.tv/BokenKabuto. I want to apologize for not having done any streaming for the month of March. I've been really swamped with paperwork and stuff, but April, I'm gonna get back into it. So we're gonna be doing more Mega Man. I promise you on that front. And with all that said, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. And you're celebrating Easter today. Happy Easter! And and if you took the time,
you guys stayed dry.
Yeah, and again, like, thank you for like watching us live if you're doing this during Easter, because again, it's like
it's a crazy day out there.
Yeah, it's a crazy day out there. Yeah, and with all the things said and done, we hope to see you guys again real soon. The next show,
convention I'll be attending is not Japan World Heroes, Robo Toy Fest, which is in the same location as Japan World Heroes from last year, which
When
is
is
the
it?
Burbank Marriott. It's June 9th, hosted by Scott Zillner. Some Power Ranger actors are going to be there. Some G.I. Joe actors are going to be there. I'm really hoping that Scott Zillner manages to convince James O'Barr to show up, because I know James O'Barr appeared in a convention in another state that Scott went to attend. So, Scott, if you're watching this, I really hope you manage to convince him to go to Robo Toy Fest, because I've always wanted to meet him. And it's perfectly timed because, we did do the Crow month, so there's that. And Steve, are you gonna go to Robo Toy Fest this year?
I'm gonna try. I mean, if it's a day and it's usually on a Sunday, I could probably do it.
Yeah.
I am supposedly maybe gonna try to go to Level Up in Las Vegas. Definitely this Morphicon that's coming up, I will be there. But in terms of conventions right now, kind of just go with the flow and see what's up,
Yeah, totally understandable. But yeah, no, the only two conventions I will be attending for the duration of the year are going to be Robo Toy Fest, Power Morphicon, and if there's room left in my budget, probably ToonCon. No promises on that one, but it's going to be mainly Robo Toy Fest and Morphicon, so there's that. And with all that said, guys, thank you one more time from the bottom of our hearts, and we'll see you guys next time. Wake up!
And go to bed.